Are you ready to revolutionize your relationship with money? Welcome to the Finding Financial Freedom podcast with the Frugal Physician, where Dr. Disha Spath will be your companion on this exciting financial adventure. Get ready to conquer debt, build wealth, and embrace a mindful spending lifestyle that will empower you to live life on your own terms.
Pearson Ravitz' story begins with Dr. Stephanie Pearson, a passionate OB-GYN at the height of her career. But then, a shoulder injury struck during a precipitous delivery. Her dreams were shattered, leaving her unable to practice medicine. Determined to make a difference, Stephanie became an advocate for her peers, guiding them through the complex disability process. Alongside insurance expert Scott Ravitz, Stephanie founded Pearson Ravitz, a company determined to approach insurance differently. Together, they set their mission to educate and empower physicians to protect their most valuable asset, their income, and the most important people in their life, their family. Today, Pearson Ravitz serves the medical community in all 50 states. At Pearson Ravitz, they understand the unique concerns of physicians. Physician-founded and physician-focused, Pearson Ravitz builds human connections before they create quotes. Life can change in an instant. It's hard to imagine that a sudden illness or injury could leave you and your family in a devastating financial situation. But with a little planning and guidance, you can prepare for every possibility. Visit PearsonRavitz.com to schedule your consultation with a Pearson Ravitz advisor. Welcome to the Finding Financial Freedom podcast with the Frugal Physician, where we discuss strategies for achieving financial well-being and making a positive impact. I'm your host, Dr. Disha Spath. And in today's episode, we'll explore the world of donor-advised funds and how they can help us maximize our charitable giving. As you know, my family and I worked really hard to pay off $208,000 of student loans in 17 months. Then we saved up a good 6-month emergency fund and a down payment for our home that we purchased in 2020, all the while growing our investments in the stock market and real estate. Soon, we made it into the Double Comma Club and started really thinking about how we could give back to the community more meaningfully. We had been making small donations here and there all along, but recently, we started making larger donations to support the local arts and talked to our accountant about how we could take full advantage of the charitable donations for tax purposes. Turns out, even though we were making sizable donations, they weren't getting us any tax write-offs. This is because the standard deduction is so high these days that it takes a significant amount of donating to tip the scale towards itemizing. Itemizing taxes refers to the process of listing individual deductions on your tax return instead of claiming the standard deduction provided by the IRS. When you itemize your deductions, you report specific expenses such as mortgage interest, state and local taxes, medical expenses, charitable contributions, etc. The decision to itemize or take the standard deduction depends on which option results in the lower taxable income and ultimately reduces your tax liability. Typically, taxpayers choose to itemize deductions if their total deductible expenses exceed the standard deduction amount. So that's when we started thinking about donor-advised funds. Donor-advised funds are vehicles for charitable donations that have increased in popularity recently. These funds allow the donors to donate cash or assets such as appreciated stocks, bonds, and index funds from a brokerage account. Thus, the capital gains on those appreciated assets are not amassed as the assets are donated to charity. Additionally, large sums can be donated in one tax year, but donations can be distributed at any time in the future. The funds can then be reinvested and grow tax-free until they are donated. So the advantage of a donor-advised fund is that a lump sum donation can be made to the DAF in 1 year, and that sum can then be invested and donated slowly in the years to come in smaller amounts. So instead of donating a few $1,000s each year and not getting any tax benefit, we can donate 2 to 3 years' worth of donations to the DAF in 1 year, get the tax benefit by itemizing that year, and then donate the sum in the subsequent years. Also, the rest of the money not donated this year continues to be invested in the DAF and continues to grow until it's donated. So this strategy is called bunching. You're basically putting several years' donations in at once and getting the tax benefit, and then donating from the DAF in subsequent years. In this way, not only can we get some tax optimization by itemizing, but we can also flush out the capital gains from our brokerage accounts. That means that the donated stocks and bonds from our brokerage account do not amass capital gain taxes because they're being donated, and the charity gets the full amount of the appreciated shares and doesn't have to pay taxes on them either. A win-win for all. You're probably thinking that there have to be some limitations to this, right? And you're right. You can only deduct up to 30% of your adjusted gross income in any given year if donating investments, and up to 60% of your adjusted gross income if donating cash. So there are limitations, but for doctor incomes, these limits can still result in very sizable donations and deductions. Any donations that exceed the AGI limits can be carried forward for up to 5 years. So if you have a windfall of money and you're trying to decide what to do with it, you can still donate it to the DAF and reap the benefits of the tax deductions from that donation. So even if you run up against the AGI limit, you can carry that donation credit forward and write that off in subsequent years. So to summarize, here are the pros and cons of DAFs. Pros, of course, you get the tax benefits. One of the primary advantages of using a DAF is the immediate tax deduction upon contribution. Donors can claim that tax deduction for the full donation amount in the year they contribute to the DAF, even if the funds are distributed to charities over several years. The charities can benefit by getting the full value of the shares donated, including their appreciation, tax-free. Another advantage is the simplicity and flexibility of donation. DAFs offer donors a streamlined approach to charitable giving. Once funds are contributed to the DAF, donors can recommend grants to charities throughout the years to come. This allows for flexibility in timing and distribution of charitable gifts and ease of accounting. No more tracking down and storing receipts for small donations. Of course, you also get investment growth. DAFs typically allow donors to invest their contributions, potentially allowing the funds to grow tax-free. This can result in larger charitable contributions over time, maximizing the impact of the donor's initial gift. And DAFs can also provide anonymity. That is, you can choose to remain anonymous when making grants from the DAF, providing a layer of privacy and discretion in charitable giving. DAFs can be useful for individuals looking to involve their family in philanthropy and create a lasting charitable legacy. Donors can appoint successors to continue recommending grants from the DAF after their passing, ensuring ongoing support for causes that they care about. And now for the cons. DAFs usually do have fees associated with them. They usually have a minimum annual fee based on a percentage of contributions. The investments themselves also have expense ratios. These vary from institution to institution and investment to investment. And we'll go over the fees and the minimums for the most popular DAFs in the second half of this episode. DAFs do take away some control. Once the assets are donated in the DAF, they're no longer yours and cannot be taken back and used for personal purposes. Also, while donors can recommend grants from their DAFs, they do not have direct control over the assets once they are contributed. The sponsoring organization of the DAF ultimately has discretion over approving grant recommendations. Many DAFs do have minimum contribution requirements, which may limit access to smaller donors. And there is investment risk, of course. If you are donating shares and then reinvesting them, there's always potential for loss. And some people say DAFs lack the immediate impact of an actual direct donation to charity, and donors may not actually donate these investments, but hold on to them for future distribution, delaying the benefit to the charitable recipients. Of course, that depends on the donor's behavior. Some critics argue that DAFs create a sense of disconnection between donors and the charitable organizations they support because donors can remain anonymous. For us, the DAF was the right way to go. It provided the tax benefits we were looking for and the flexibility and ease of donation that we were looking for. Now, let's take a little break for a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll go over the pros and cons of some of the most popular DAF providers.
get the most out of your career as a physician, you need an employment contract that supports you. Unfortunately, most contracts do not initially include everything you need to be successful. Employers draft contracts with their best interests in mind, but the terms that benefit your employer are rarely as valuable to you. Before signing an employment contract, you should always make sure your salary, bonuses, paid time off, and other terms are fair. Resolve is the one and only place you can get live salary data so you know exactly what's happening in your specialty at all times. The best part is that data is verified from real physician contracts. With access to data on what physicians like you are earning, you know when you are being underpaid and can confidently ask for what you deserve. In addition to providing data, they are the #1 firm specializing in physician employment contracts. They work with every specialty nationwide. At Resolve, you get connected with an experienced attorney who will work with you one-on-one to ensure you sign with confidence. Your attorney will take your priorities into account, address your concerns, make suggestions, and help you strategize for any negotiations. They can even negotiate with an employer on your behalf. So whether you are a seasoned attending or just finishing training, Resolve is here to support you every step of the way. Visit resolve.com to learn more and discover how to sign your ideal employment contract. Resolve, your trusted partner for physician contract review negotiations and salary data.
Okay, welcome back. Let's talk a little about the different DAF providers. Let's begin with Vanguard Charitable. Known for its low administrative fees and extensive investment options, Vanguard Charitable offers donors the opportunity to invest in Vanguard mutual funds and ETFs. With a minimum initial contribution of $25,000 and a minimum grant recommendation of $500, Vanguard Charitable is an attractive option for large donors. Its fee structure is based on a percentage of assets under management, with reduced rates for larger balances. The first $500,000 is charged 0.6% in administrative fees, and the next $500,000 is charged 0.3% in administrative fees, and the percentages decrease from there. And of course, you also have the added cost of the actual expense ratio of the investments. Next up is Fidelity Charitable. Similar to Vanguard, Fidelity boasts competitive fees and a diverse range of investment options, including mutual funds, ETFs, and separately managed accounts. With no minimum contribution requirement and a minimum grant recommendation of $50, Fidelity Charitable appeals to donors of all sizes. Their administrative fee is 0.6% of assets under management, or a minimum of $100. Like Vanguard, Fidelity also has a tiered fee schedule that decreases in percentage with larger balances in the account. Moving on to Schwab Charitable. With its tiered fee structure and wide selection of investment options, Schwab offers donors flexibility and choice. While there's no minimum contribution to open an account, donors must contribute a minimum of $100,000 to have their account professionally managed. Schwab follows a fee structure similar to its counterparts, charging 0.6% of assets under management, as administrative fees for the first $500,000 with decreasing percentages for higher tiers. Professional management of the account accrues higher fees. The minimum grant at Schwab is $50. Now let's discuss some of the newer DAF providers like CharityVest and Daffy. CharityVest offers a free DAF with no investment options, as well as a paid option with a fee of 0.45% of assets under management and access to investing. There's no minimum contribution to open an account. The minimum grant at CharityVest is $20, but investment options are limited at CharityVest when compared to Daffy, consisting of a standard portfolio made of Vanguard ETFs and a filtered portfolio that is more sustainable but has higher expense ratios. And investors can choose their own asset allocation. Daffy is the newest disruptor on the market that offers a more user-friendly experience than traditional brokerages. Daffy charges subscription fees from $3 a month to $20 a month. with accounts with fund balances less than $100 accruing no fees. DAFI provides 3 standard portfolios: conservative, standard, and ESG portfolios. They also offer a crypto portfolio. Picking individual investments is not possible at DAFI, and there's no minimum contribution to open an account. However, DAFI has a limit of $25,000 donated per lifetime in donated stock, ETFs, mutual funds, crypto, or DAF transfer for their basic contributor level, and $50,000 for the highest level. The highest level has no limit to contribution and is $20 a month. The minimum grant at DAFI is $18, making the account appealing to smaller investors. The family plan also allows others in the family to recommend grants. Each of these DAF providers has its own unique features and benefits, so it's important to carefully consider your individual needs and preferences when choosing the right one for you. I ended up going with Fidelity because I do plan to donate more than $25,000 in my lifetime, and the highest membership level at DAFI would cost me more than the account fee at Fidelity. I also enjoy the option to choose my own investments at Fidelity. Also, since I have other accounts there, it helps me streamline my financial life. Whether you're a seasoned philanthropist or just starting your charitable journey, donor-advised funds can be a powerful tool for making a positive impact on the causes you care about. Be sure to check out the blog at www.thefrugalphysician.com if you're looking for more insight. There, I've laid out a step-by-step process of how to open a DAF with Fidelity Charitable, how to transfer shares from Vanguard to the DAF, and then how to donate from the DAF with screenshots included. That wraps up today's episode of Finding Financial Freedom with the Frugal Physician. We hope you found this comparison of donor-advised funds helpful in navigating the world of charitable giving. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to drop a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting platform. Your reviews help us get the good word out and help make this podcast possible. Join us next time as we explore more topics related to personal finance and wealth management. Until then, take care and stay frugal, y'all. Now, a final word from our sponsor. At Pearson Rabbits, they understand that life can change in an instant. It's hard to imagine that a sudden illness, injury, or catastrophic event could put you and your family in a devastating financial situation. Physician-founded and physician-focused, Pearson Rabbits builds human connections before they create quotes. Visit www.pearsonrabbits.com today and embark on your journey to safeguarding your future.
The content shared on this podcast should not be taken as individualized financial advice. We are here to share our knowledge and experiences, but it is crucial to consult with professionals such as accountants, financial advisors, or attorneys who can provide personalized guidance based on your specific needs.